You awake yet?
Mm-hmm.
No.
When I woke up yesterday, my mom said there was a flood.
Yeah, there was flash flooding yesterday. Can't tell today, can you?
Well, yeah, because it's kind of high.
I have some photos. We actually should walk down here and check out the river.
Yeah,
Where the river meets.
Yeah,
where the little canal meets the Ohio. Yeah.
whenever we dropped Aiden off from the hospital, we stopped over there.
Right here, where everybody's waiting. Yep.
One time, somebody in 3rd grade threw their phone off the boat whenever we came.
Oh boy.
And it was their mom's like 2nd phone, and they like said, "No, I can catch it," because I think there's like 2 layers or something. Somebody was like down on the 2nd one trying to catch it, and they did not catch it because they were trying to get a good shot, and it just, we heard it plummet.
Did you bring your phone today?
No,
I had an idea.
not after that. I've never seen that. I've only been here when it was really flooded, and it was like up to the staircase with mud.
Yeah.
I've never seen those stairs. Last time I was here, it was like up there.
Most of the time when we come down here, it's the water's clear up to these trees. You can see where they already have been.
Like right here was where it got muddy and I slipped. Look where it's been flooded at.
Please leave minnow trap alone.
Where? Somebody already probably messed with it.
Oh, here comes a boat.
No, that actually scared me because I knew you were gonna do that.
Oh, you knew it? Okay.
Yeah. I was preparing myself. I already knew it. I was just thinking in my head. On like the waves from it to go onto like the staircase thing.
Was the last time you went here, was it with me when we went a few years back?
No, I was in 3rd grade. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
That's concerning. 20 adult life jackets and 36 child life jackets.
Well, hey, it wasn't this exact photo, so here we go.
It was this exact photo.
Right. Here it comes.
Yeah, they were standing on the back trying to get a shot of the propeller, and we just recorded. We're good. Their phone.
I got my sunglasses and my visors up to me on the backpack.
Every hour. I mean, yeah, they kind of are though.
I just saw somebody but you and they just walked up there.
Some people are jerks when they're kids, and then they grow up and they're still jerks. So, ask me how I know.
Yeah, water.
Good.
Is there going to be enough seats upstairs, or should we just go ahead and go inside?
Nah, but the chairs are pretty much match the number of people that are out upstairs. So if there's empty chairs up there, you should be okay.
But if you've already
We'll
had
meet up.
snow,
Yeah, if there's no chairs open, I'm afraid we'll have to sit down.
see, that's what I was thinking, too, like he is. Do you think there is chairs before I walk up and have to come back down?
If you hurry, you can get.
Are there seats up there? Are there seats?
Nope. Turn
No
around.
seats. No seats.
Okay, here's that. I
Yeah.
just want to watch it. Wonder if they ran over a bird.
Feathers in the water.
Wonder if they ran over a bird. Look, they sit out there.
Probably got carried by the wind.
The water coming down the pool. Dang, I thought we were here to save. Look at the water coming out. Can I touch it? It's higher.
What? Oh yeah.
I was telling you I touched the water. Hey Riley, you're not gonna be able to make it to All Stars.
What's she doing? Why can't she make it to All Stars?
She's going to a concert.
Oh, okay. You gonna say hi to her in case she watches this?
Hi Riley.
it-
While you're gone, I'm gonna steal all your squishies, whether you like it or not.
Actually, I think your coach tonight, the last time he saw you, he told you he was going to make you run 10 laps. So if I can catch that tonight, I'll make sure we pop the video out. We'll catch Bailey running 10 laps.
No.
And I'll play with Riley's squishies.
Wait in my shoe.
Are you really scared of water?
Yes. It is almost at my face. Water that I can't see in, yeah. Yeah, do you see it? It came up to my face.
I've been on the boat when it hit these before, these poles, it bumps it. You can see how good the captain is, whether he gets these or not.
It says do not touch. It looks like it just needs a little shove and it will fall. It's gonna hit it.
Oh, he's good. He didn't even need the tire. Go ahead, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, they have a swing. Oh, yeah, mine's the West Virginia swing.
So, this is Harmon's study, also known as his man cave, though he would hate to hear me say that. People could come out here and make it, as long as they had a hoe, a garden hoe, H-O-E, hoe, a shotgun and shelves, and a pot to cook in. You could find yourself a little cave to live in until you got your first shack built, and you could live in it while you're building the rest of your farm or whatever. And you had squatters' rights. So, there's a lot of people out here back then, but they just weren't on the census. Not on the island, though. It was. Okay, so this is a Palladian style house. That means symmetry. Anything you have on the right, you're going to have on the left. Anything you have in the front, you're going to have in the back. So over here on this side of their plantation was their pleasure garden. On the other side was their vegetable garden. Okay? Now right there, inside that semicircle of shrubs, those are the graves of Harmon Jr. and his mother Margaret. Behind that, where all the boxwoods are, that would have been their rose garden. We can't have roses because we have deer. You can't have anything when you have deer. And then over here, all this flat land, that was their fish pond. That's what they were eating out of. You couldn't count on the river for fish. You couldn't count on the river for water, let alone fish. So, and then over there close to the river, they had a big white gazebo. They called it the summer home. Nobody lived in it. It was just something romantic to sit by the river and watch the people walk by or whatever. And then none of these trees were here, but in the very back, they had a shrubbery maze with 9-foot hedges because you have a little privacy in your pleasure garden. Their hedges were cut in the same shape and form as the original 13 colonies. And we're going to try to recreate that. Just give us 4 or 5 years. You know, this is West Virginia. Nobody gets in a hurry about anything around here. But we'll let everybody know when we have it because it will be fantastic. So this is Harmon Study. This is where the fire started in 1811. So when you first walk in, on your right, straight back, is the only piece that belongs to the Blennerhassetts. It's the only piece that has a maroon ribbon on it. Then you're going to look down on the floor, straight back. That's where you'll see the trap door to the wine cellar. And down there is where the fire started. Then you look over this way, on the side of the fireplace, you will be able to see the frame of the door that takes you upstairs to Harmon's laboratory. He had the first chemistry lab in the Ohio Valley, which soon became the first medical lab in the Ohio Valley. The Blennerhassetts are responsible for bringing the smallpox vaccination here, and they were making vaccination upstairs in their laboratory, and they were responsible for vaccinating everybody in the Ohio Valley for free. So I can't tell you how many thousands of lives they saved, indirectly or directly. And then over here, you're going to see by the window a telescope. Well, they had a Stradivarius telescope, and it's in our museum. You're also going to see a book press up against the wall. That's because they had the very first library in the Ohio Valley as well, which included a medical library. And when they had that big auction, their medical library was the biggest ticket item. And then you're going to see in the corner here a violin. We believe Harmon had a Stradivarius violin, but we've never seen it. Most likely it's in a private collection somewhere. We wouldn't be able to house it here if we did. This is my favorite piece. It's right here up against this wall, and that is a map of the United States in 1806. So you're welcome to take pictures as long as you have your flash off, and go ahead on in. And I'll be right here if anybody has any questions.
It's bigger than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have shut the door.
Why? Because they keep them out of our house. They're rinsing their paintbrushes off in our sinks. Using our bathroom, hanging out in our basement. We're supposed to be working. There was a servants' party across the river, and this was March. The river was up, it was really windy, and the servants took a skiff over there across the river. Well, they got really drunk at that party, and on the way back over, they flipped the whole boat over, and somebody drowned right there in the river that night. I don't know what happened with the body, if they got it out then or what, but as soon as they got out of the boat, got back over here, first thing they wanted was brandy. So they took a lit candle down in the fire and down in the wine cellar, and there was hemp rope, which is highly flammable. Now you tell me, you're the only person in there, you got the only candle, and you didn't see it catch on fire? You're not gonna tell anybody? The house burnt to the ground within an hour, and luckily somebody was sleeping upstairs that was able to get everybody out of it before it burned down. So that sounds pretty intentional to me. Throughout the whole mansion that you can sit except for outside. So come on in and get this door shut. Okay, welcome to Blennerhassett's main house. We're all going to look around down here, and then we're all going to go upstairs as a group. So this is the main entry hall. This is where the Blennerhassett's guests get their first glimpse of the home's interior. And we know how the rooms were laid out because we dug down to the original foundation. And we built it up 6 feet so that it wouldn't flood. And we put the roof exactly as they had them before. But in here, we don't know how tall their structures were. They're way taller than ours. You wouldn't be able to reach up and touch the chandelier, that's for sure. There would have been a domed ceiling in here with a huge crystal chandelier hanging from that. Anywhere you see gold paint, whether it's on the walls, the ceilings, the portraits, the candlesticks, that would have been real 24 karat leaf gold paint. They were all about showing off their wealth. And that's how they lost it all. There would have been another staircase just like this one over there, 2 staircases, one for the gentlemen, the other one for the ladies, because God forbid you get a glimpse of an ankle going up the stairs, and that's why. I'm not even lying. So, this is Harmon. He's 31 in this picture. That's his wife, Margaret. She's 49 in that. These are prints from the only surviving portraits we have of them. He is originally about 6 years older than her. So, now, over here is the black walnut paneled room. That's where the gentlemen go after supper to smoke their cigars and drink their brandy. There's a table in there that Harmon brought with him from Ireland. The musical instrument at the end of the hall is a harpsichord. That's one of our 17th century pieces that was handmade and donated to us by one of the churches in Parkersburg. It still plays beautifully. And then over here we have the east parlor, which leads into the west parlor. But anyway, y'all can see the west parlor by going around this way. And that's where the ladies would go after supper to take their tea, confections, and gossip. I'm not sure.
It looks like tea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But so this is part of the Blennerhassett's mansion. They have clamshells out of the river to make the stucco for this gravel.
You're all right. Table and break something.
The girls would
I
gossip.
think I'm pretty sure you probably would. Yes. The girls gossip here and everywhere else also. Not just this room.
Nothing much has changed.
And the slaves had room. There was 2 rows of 6 whitewashed houses for them out there. women would come up the stairs separately, and then they could come together here and either dance or play cards. If they didn't want to waltz, they would just move the furniture up against the walls. Harmon would be the band, because he was a musician and composer. And this is the library. When you go in the library, when you look straight back, you're going to see a bedroom. That's the gentleman's guest bed chamber. And it would be no big deal for all of us to come here and stay for 2 weeks at least. All the gentlemen would be in that room. Sorry, I didn't mean to I didn't know you were standing there. I'm sorry. All the ladies would be over here in the ladies' guest bed chamber. So remember, we're on Southern Plantation, Southern Gentlemen. They would give up their bed chambers so the ladies would be more comfortable. They could just sleep wherever they want. The lady portrait is the first that was 16 when she was a police mistress. So that's how she got her voice. But that's why it might be our mistake. Now, those set of stairs right there, those were originally the servant stairs.
Have you gone in that room yet?
No.
There's a child in the bed. Is scary.
So you go around here, and that's the master bedroom. The osteo-front you see in the chin belongs to them. Then when you're looking at the bed, the washstand and basin in the corner was theirs. The looking glass on the wall was theirs. And then there's a Hogarth piece coming out right on that wall right there. Left side. That'll be your right side. Now all this is one piece of art by Hogarth. Now Hogarth was their favorite artist because he was a satirical artist. That means he's poking fun of the subject. Well, the subject here is arranged marriage. And we know the Blennerhassetts did not have an arranged marriage, but they did have a wicked sense of humor. So this is one piece of art. It goes in order and it tells a story. Starts up here, top right, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as it is art, interpret as you will, you can't get it wrong. And then there's another Hogarth piece in the bedroom. When you're walking out, you'll see it on the right side. That's called the enraged musician. Well, if Harmon hadn't been enraged, we know he was a musician. But if he wasn't enraged at that point, he'd have been insane. So on the third floor is where the servants would stay. And anybody that would come
All
here,
the fans.
they wouldn't just come for supper and leave before the dishes. They had to go over the Alleghenies and your... Oh, they're cute. They look like little big faces. Yeah. Okay, come on, guys. Thank you.
It's not food. It's not a friend. It's a toy. It's a friend. It's not food. It's a friend. It's a friend. Not food.
Well, it's food. You just can't. You just gotta. It's not food for
You
people.
like seeing the babies. The babies.
So, could the last person out please shut the door?
That's the baby.
I know, the last person out isn't even on the stairs yet.
Yeah.
We'll get it shut. Okay, so we're going to go into the kitchen. That's the last stop on your tour. But you'll see this metal plate right here. That was the original level that the house sat at. And that's where the original Blennerhassett well was. Right next to it was the wash house where the servants and slaves would wash up. Underneath that was the root cellar. They had an ice house behind the mansion. And over here in the Black Walnut Plantation, that's where they had their hot house. It was 3 acres large and it was glass and it was heated with steam. And the people around here, well, everybody referred to the Blennerhassett's gardens as the Little Italy of the West. Because in their hothouses, they were growing lemons, oranges, figs, dates, olives. We had peaches, pears, plums, cherries, grapes. So, the only thing they had to import was coffee, tea, sugar, and spice. Everything else came from the island. So, anybody wants to, they can come around and poke in the window if they want. Okay, so this is the summer kitchen, and don't be fooled by the name. They used it all year long. The reason they called it the summer kitchen is because the temperatures in here could exceed 150 degrees. And the ladies that worked in here slept upstairs. So if it's 150 degrees, you're not sleeping. You might not even be breathing at that point. So we would allow them to take their bedrolls and sleep somewhere cooler, like the milk barn or something like that. They were all ladies, so wherever they slept, they would have been safe and protected. But somebody had to stay in here and maintain this fire at all times. The original hearth would have been at least that tall, and it would have been 3 to 4 feet deeper, and there would have been a whole spit across there for their meat. Has anybody ever seen one of these gooseneck tea kettles? We're the only Georgian kitchen in the country that has one, and not everybody's going to get this reference, but if you had a gooseneck tea kettle in 1800, it'd be like having a microwave in 1970. So, Margaret was the first one on the island to have one, and the whole purpose was so you could pour your hot water without touching that kettle. Of course, you could take this off and put different cauldrons and things on there. Hi! So the whole floor is brick for purpose. You could make a burner anywhere on it. All you had to do is take this metal scoop, walk on in there, get your scoop of red hot coals, and you could put them wherever you needed to. And that's why everything, including their toaster here, has these little legs so that they could sit in a pile of hot coals and cook evenly. Over here, so I would have at least been maimed by now just walking through there because of my dress. So the ladies in here would take their skirts, pull them up between their legs and tuck them in, and then put their aprons on over that, and that saved their lives. But they would have never walked out the door like that. These are reflective ovens, and they would have been turned around to face this inferno. Heat radiates off of these channels and off the back and through the chimneys. Well, this one is a rotisserie with the metal crank. How would you like to sit in front of this inferno and turn this metal crank till your 29 turkeys were done? Because that's what it would take. You're feeding 40 people at least 3 times a day, and that's before the entertaining, and they were always entertaining. So this isn't going to do it. This would work for a single family, but they would have had their meat roasted in there, okay? This is a Heppleway work table that belonged to the Blennerhassetts. This was in their milk barn, and this is what they set their cheese molds up on. And there was a French colony in Gallipolis, Ohio that bought every bit of cheese they could make. So they were making money. They were just spending it like it was hemorrhaging from their necks. They didn't think they'd ever run out. So, these 2 Windsor chairs were somewhere on the plantation. I'd like to think they had a couple in here for the girls to sit on, but I don't honestly know. So, remember when we were talking about sugar? This is a pound of sugar, also known as a cone. This would have been $23 back then, which is about $1,000 today. So, and it was really a lot easier to sail down to the West Indies around the Jamaica, Cuba area than it was to go over the mountains down south to get it from the, the sugar plantations down south. So it came from the West Indies, it wasn't processed in any way, and by the time it made it up here, it was like getting a bucket of hardened cement. Now how are you gonna get that in your delicate little teacup? Where you get your servants. And these sugar tools are another reason why you're in the best equipped Georgian kitchen. This is the sugar auger or the sugar devil. And they would just keep jamming and cranking until they got all the sugar out of the container. Then you have to slice it. It's still not going in the teacup. So it'd be like slicing a brick, but you get 2 uniform sizes, like a slice of Velveeta or something. Then you take the nippers, cut a corner out of that slice, and that would somewhat resemble a cube. So 1 lump or 2, that's where that came from. And around here, because our sandstone is too brittle. This came from up north, it would have had to been hauled over the mountains. So, and it would have been installed over here against that wall so the gray water could go into the gardens. This is
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, whatever we were on the way over, I thought it said snack, not snack shack.
He's first. They get a hot dog toast.
I almost just tripped. Whenever we go on a horse ride, we should try to get closer to the horses.
You can try.
Kick your in. Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's a what?
Just be nice. She called him Buck. I'm not sure what kind he is.
What did you call it?
Buck.
Buck.
That's his name.
But it's a mule, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now that's a horse.
Yep. The horse is Bill.
Oh, deal. But his tag says
We had a lady neighbor in Palmer, so one of our drivers who also used to work here put a tag on him when they could move. But his name is Buck. Michael Buck. Morgan.
You ready to get to work?
Buck, put that, please.
Dad, do you see the bags to catch the food?
Should be optional to have wagons with wagon wheels on it.
Optional? Oh yeah, I see, because they have actual like tires on it.
Yeah, it wasn't like that little house on the
You can't eat them either, silly. Where in the heck did you go? Oh, that's my wife. Where'd she go? Thank you.
This one's big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
He likes that. I got your spot.
That?
I don't know, just was using my knuckle really hard and rubbing him. He liked it. Remember, he's huge. You got to use a little bit of force for him to feel it. Hi, buddy. Easy, bae. Yeah, easy, bae. This one's acting weird. Easy, buddy. Hi. Tired, huh? You tired, boy?
Hi.
Hello. Gotta let the horse drool. What?
This is a good squishy.
What do you got?
A snail from the gift shop. And a cross.
I'll show the cross. I like that.
Snake in there.
I'm not scared if there was anyway.
I can see it.
Tell me it's not interesting. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were videoing me.
I wish. Could we arrange it? I mean, spend a few days on the island, that'd be alright. Depending on what you get the launch to do. Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
How's everybody's day today?
Amazing.
It turned out to be a most amazing day. Everybody, my name is Sean. I'll be the wagon driver and the tour guide. The horses in front of me is Sugar to the left. Sugar is a Hoflinger. The Hoflinger breed comes from a town called Hofling, which is situated on a mountain in Austria. Babe here to the right, she is half Hoflinger and half Percheron. Now looking to the left of the wagon, all those trees are black walnut, a walnut tree plantation. Planted there in 1935 by a man by the name of Amos K. Gordon. Now we get back around to the picnic table we had just started from, I'll be able to show and tell a little bit more about those trees. And to the right of us is the mansion. Now that is the Blennerhassett's mansion, but it is not the original. See, the original was built in between 1798 and 1800 for Harmon and Margaret Blennerhassett, who came to the United States from Ireland. Now they bought this side of the island at the time, which at the time would have been about a third of the island. And then they started building their home. Unfortunately, at that same time period, they also got tied up with the Aaron Burr's conspiracy. So right around 1804, they felt it necessary to leave their home and island for their safety. While they were gone and having all hopes to return home, they got word from a friend that in 1811, their house had caught fire and burnt all the way to the ground. So that house back there is a replica of theirs, built by the state of West Virginia for the park system starting in the late 1970s. Now while the Blennerhassett were here, for the most part they were self-sustaining, meaning they really needed not to leave the island for much of anything. They made most of their own stuff and they grew all their own food. They had a pretty good sized vegetable garden. They also had what they called hot houses, which allowed them to grow different exotic and native fruit trees. They also grew many different types of crops like corn, wheat, hemp, and barley. And they also raised many different types of animals for the products they would produce, like eggs and milk, furs, feathers, and wool, then also eventually their meat. The ground sign here to your right tells a lot of famous people that came by the island or across. Different names on the sign like Washington, Daniel Boone, David Crockett, Meriwether Lewis, John Chapman, and many other names front and coming into view is a log house. And why I say house and not a cabin is because it has an upstairs. Cabins are ground level. That house was made out of virgin white oak log, built prior to the Civil War originally. Originally it stood over in Bartlett, Ohio, right around the Vito Lake area. Now that house was torn down, brought here, rebuilt, and then built onto somewhat to be able to have the extra room to house modern conveniences like electricity and indoor plumbing. Since it's been brought here, it has been lived in by one or another of our state's employees over the years. That way there is someone here on the island at all times in case of some type of an emergency. Now if we look back toward the mansion, we look forward again, we'll see that for the most part this roadway is somewhat straight. The straight part of this road stretches a little over a half mile. On this half mile road, it was used back in the beginning of World War II as a test landing strip for our U.S. military. Of course, at that time period, to make it just a little bit more safer and convenient to bring a plane all the way to the ground, none of these trees were here. All this was open ground. Now what it was at the time is the war was already in full-fledged effect. So everybody that knew how to fly already was out there somewhere else doing that. Now when it came time for the locals in the area wanting to go, man, I want to join in on that and learn how to fly, you know, that would be cool. There was not any military personnel available to do the teaching. So that job fell on the shoulders of a young civilian girl. Now, her name was Pearl Ward. Now Pearl hailed from a small town called Smithville, West Virginia, which tells you right there that girl grew up as redneck as any other girl could do. She learned how to fly a bi-wing at the age of 14. A few years later, she became known as one of the first female stunt pilots in the United States. Flying the bi-wing gave her the opportunity to become known also as a wing walker and a paratrooper. So when she was asked to come here to teach boys and other girls how to fly, she jumped at that opportunity and then became known as another first. Pearl became known as the first female civilian flight instructor for the U.S. military. So she come here to teach boys and girls how to get off the ground, back to the ground, jump out with a parachute, and then she thought, man, this is going to be more fun than you could shake a stick at, because she went ahead and taught those boys and girls her stunts. One of the stunts that she taught was called the touch and go method, which is to take out plane and drop it. out of the sky. Right before it looked like she'd hit the ground, she then would belly it out, skim the ground for a short distance, and put it right back in the air. When I say Pearl could skim the ground, that girl could get so low to the ground that on many occasions she'd bring the airplane back to the airport with grass stains. Now, after the war, she got married, moved into Parkersburg. She lived up Market Street. During that time period, she then joined the Civil Air Patrol. Well, that just kept her local, and that was not good enough for Pearl. So she then joined what they call WASP. It's an acronym. It stands for Women's Air Special Patrol. You look that up, and over 34,000 women from across our nation flew for WASP. She then passed away in the mid-1980s, so us here on the island did not get to meet her. But over the years doing these wagon rides, we've had the privilege of getting to meet her daughter and some of her family and friends. The utmost privilege of getting to meet 18 of her students. Now the brown building here to our right doesn't really have any historical area that they call the deer exclosure. An exclosure means we try our best to keep the deer out. Now what they're doing is studying the vegetation growth inside and the outside square, showing us what the deer and other animals like to eat compared to the things that they do not, which in turn shows us what type of vegetation growth we would want to be more plentiful on the island to be able to sustain those said animals. After we pass the deer's enclosure, we'll see two signs, and the first sign up here to our left is marked the James Blockhouse, which would have stood out to the left where all the trees are now. It would have been built in 1792, would have been 2 stories tall, having a very tall fence surrounding the whole entire perimeter. Built to be a fortress to protect women and children from all the fighting occurring at that time period. 6 years after it was built was when the Blennerhassett came to the island. They moved into that house while they're having their mansion built. Once they were able to move into the mansion, they went ahead and had the blockhouse completely dismantled in order to use the material to build other things to their liking. The second sign mentions a very large hollow sycamore tree. They say the tree had an outside circumference of 37.5 foot. The inside diameter of the hollow hole was over 11 foot across. Said to be well over 400 years old when it died, dying by a fire possibly caused by a lightning strike in 1953. So directly out in front of us in that field would have been where the Blennerhassett had most of their plantation. They would have had barns and stables and outbuildings, a large dairy operation for the milk and the milk byproducts. And why so far away from the house is what we like to call the 3 S's. We want everything out of sight, sound, and you do not ever want to smell it. Hey, can you be any louder?
Oh, trust me.
Don't answer that question. I guarantee you probably can.
I don't care, Bob.
He's a little tired and he's just fighting it.
But it stopped going forward.
Yeah.
It usually does not.
Well, this house here is the Neal House, or what's left of it, built in 1833. All the red brick handmade right here on the island. The outside walls all the way around are about 3 feet thick. And the reason for that is insulation. Now what we mean by that is in the 1830s there was no such thing as central air or heat, or a box fan, or a ceiling fan, or Pink Panther insulation. So what they did is they built the house like an above ground cellar house. Doing so, especially in the summertime, if they'd have kept the doors and the windows shut, the inside temperature, just like Grandma's cellar, would stay at about 58 degrees inside that house. Now that's perfect, because you know me and the kids, all of us would be outside playing in the yard in summertime. You know what I mean? We'd be all sweaty and nasty. We go inside to cool down. Same thing in the wintertime. We'd be outside playing, but we would not want to go inside a cold house. So that's when we throw a log or two on the fire to raise that temperature. Now, if you ever go to Grandma's cellar and you put a heater in there, you know what happens? Straight sauna. It will heat up right now. That's what that house would do. So to counter that, they then would go through and open a window or a door on both sides of the house, allow the cool air to come back down and in, and it would put it right back to the perfect temperature. Now the house was lived in all the way up to the mid-1950s, and while being lived in, it did survive a couple major floods. The most major was in 1913 when the water started pouring in the upstairs window. It survived that flood and it survived the flood of 1932. What it could not survive is a tornado that hit the mid-1950s. A very large Ferris wheel. If that didn't get you high enough off the ground, they also gave hot air balloon rides. They also had an outside boxing ring, a Major League Baseball diamond, a shooting gallery, a raised wooden dance platform, food vendor, games for children, and they also had an exotic petting zoo where you could get right in the pen and start petting baby zebras and peacocks and a few other animals. Unfortunately for them and us, they built all that up here on the front of an island. And soon enough they found out islands do tend to flood. The flood of 1913 wiped out the whole park. When the water receded, the Gordon family come back over to assess the damage, and they found everything laying on the ground. What was still left here. Unfortunately, at the time, they had no idea when that next flood would occur. So rather than rebuilding and wasting their money twice, they went ahead and cleaned up the mess, called it quits, so that was the end of the park. Now the island today stretches about 4 miles long this direction. It's only a third of a mile wide at its widest spot. It has 10 miles of shoreline or perimeter. Looks similar to the shape of an hourglass or a bowling pin. Consists of just shy of 500 acres and is said to be the 5th largest island up and down the Ohio River. Now prior to the Blennerhassetts and the Neils and the Gordons coming here, we do know it was lived on by at least 2 different Native American tribes. One of those tribes being the Delaware. Chief of the Delaware tribe, his name was Nemacolin. Now when Nemacolin came with his small tribe from Delaware to get to here, he had traveled across what is now known as the Appalachian Trail. And in doing so, he gets the credit for starting the blaze of that trail, at least from Delaware to here. Now they arrived here on the island right around the beginning of 1750. Can any of y'all imagine what he might have saw when he set foot on the island for the first time?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the noise. Maybe we weren't there.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. What we feel that they would have actually saw would have probably been a whole bunch of nothing. And the nothing I'm talking about is the things you and I see when we leave the house. We will not see the neighbors. We will not see any vehicles or buses or emergency vehicles. No airplanes, helicopters, Walmart, McDonald's, DuPont, locks and dams, bass boats, river barges, DNR officers. So, you know, Nemacolin gets here, he liked that idea of nothing. So him and his small tribe decided to stay. They built their houses to the left of us in that general area. And he lived out the rest of his life and died here in 1767. Possibly buried here on the island, but no one knows exactly where due to the fact we are on an island that has and will continue to flood. So if they did leave any type of marker next to his grave, it very well has been knocked down and washed away. So at the present time, we just like to say poor old Nemacolin is MIA.
So did he get chased out of Pennsylvania? Because I know around Pittsburgh there's a Nemacolin, Pennsylvania.
Well, that and a resort with his statue or his likeness. No, he didn't get chased out. He actually got hired to come here. He got hired by a French explorer, and what the explorer wanted to do is he wanted to establish a trade route. The Appalachian Trail, or the trail, was already here, but was a very little, very crappy foot trail that was used by the Iroquois and the Shawnee. And if you're in that said area, you'll see signs saying, hey, this is the Appalachian Trail over there. But right below it, it'll say it's also from there to here, the Nemacolin Trail.
That's where the ferry comes, babe. Right here. Are you talking about getting the vehicles?
Right here in a minute, along the river's edge, you'll get to see Gigi, which is a small tugboat and barge. That is the answer of how we get the horses, wagons, and any other equipment to and from the island. We use Gigi. Now, when we bring the horses over, they are inside trailer toted by a truck. Now, the horses do seem to like that trailer ride, and we feel that's the truth due to the fact I take that trailer down to the field, I'll have horses, hey, where are we going? You know, ready to get in that trailer. What we feel that they don't realize is once on and in the trailer, they're getting their very own boat ride. And when we round the corner to this gift shop, get closer to the picnic table, you'll see a little clearer that Amos had all of these walnut trees planted in straight rows. Now, each row, the tree is pretty close together to each other. And what he realized early on is planting them that way, each tree would drown out the sunlight from its neighboring tree, which caused them all to grow really tall and straight before they ever branched out. So from the first branch down to the ground, each and every one of those trees is a veneer log, which means you would not see these spots when you cut a board. It would all be perfectly smooth, worth way more money. Now he also knew the walnut was valuable. The walnut used as a food. Grind the shell up, it makes the medicine. The stain of the walnuts used. That's where we get our black leather, our dark stain for our clothing, dark stain for woodworks and furniture, your pen ink, your tattoo ink, and even some of the original hair dye. So knowing that, he planted them in straight rows and wide enough rows to be able to go down each lane and harvest all that said material. Today, of course, being a state park, it doesn't get harvested by us humans, but rather harvested by the animals that live here.
2008 is when it was opened. It says it was brought by barge in 1986, so I was 1 year old. I remember seeing, I've seen pictures of it though. They took pictures whenever this whole house was brought over in one piece.
What is the other building? What is the other building behind us?
It's a building that was moved over here with
Horsehair.
Things that they use to make like the plaster.
which is a good thing because you really need somebody on the side all the time.
That just ends right there by a piece of wood.
Okay. This is your jam.
No, he must make big grocery runs.
Or playing in advance.
Right.
He doesn't go out to eat very often.
No, he doesn't. Thank you so much.
Yes, very delightful. Nice talking to you.
You probably get used to it, don't you?
No admittance, it says it right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, right there.
I can't see right on the start.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's really cool.
That thing scared me so bad.
Oh, talk about uneven. That floor is awful. Very uneven.
Something about big boots.
Yeah, it's so good to get house. Where's the bathroom though?
Outside.
Do you have any questions or anything?
I don't think so. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Did you like the big beautiful ballroom?
Sure did.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is.
Wallpaper is something. I like it.
Oh, you know the lady who picked this out did a beautiful job. Every room just looks like this is the way it should look.
Right. It's gorgeous.
What's next? The wine cellar?
That's the cellar. That's probably.
Did they ever leave?
My ears deceive me. Those are coyotes. Those are coyotes. A bunch of them. That's a shit ton of coyotes.
I thought they were kids.
No, those are coyotes yelping.
What a baby yelping.
They're either fighting or somebody stumbled into them. And
You did a good job.
Bless you.
The ways, you know, so they can come through. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you.
You got the tickets?
Surely.
Anything you got in there, it's green. Just hand it over.
Here.
Just hand me this.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to the movies tonight. Thank you.
Sometimes people do. There's a lot of people in the river. You'll see the jet skis will come up behind this and ride the wake from it.
Wouldn't they get in trouble?
No, it's fun. If you hit those on a jet ski, you go flying.
We need to get a boat and then get one of those tubes.
All the inner tubes?
Yeah.